So, in my conversation with JJ Parker, the CEO of Carousel, there were two really big takeaways that jumped out at me. First one was about self awareness and reflection as a way to essentially become a better leader and build a better company. I'm an agile software developer. I've been on Scrum teams basically for the last 20 years. And it was always kind of amazing to me in my career that engineering teams, of all people, seem to be leading the charge on using reflection and continuous improvement as a way to increase performance. And I really, to this day, don't see this anywhere else in the company and in other departments in any systematic way. So it's actually been a big part of my journey as a leader and as a coach to bring these agile principles to every department in the company. And really what it comes down to is, are you listening? Are you taking in feedback from your team, from your customers, and from yourself? And are you really taking the time on a regular basis, on a regular cadence, to reflect on that feedback and identify ways to improve, and then actually executing on and putting that to work? So, I've been an agile coach for about a decade now, and I come into different product teams, all different shapes and sizes. And what I basically do when I come in is I say, we are going to throw away your process. We're going to get rid of everything that you're doing. We're not doing Scrum. We're not doing Kanban. We're not doing anything. The only thing we're going to keep is the retrospective. So we are going to form organically around the work, around whatever it is that needs to be done. And we're going to do it for, let's say, a week. And then we're going to reflect on it. And we're going to see what's working and what's not working and what are the trade-offs. And then we are going to incrementally add structure until we get to whatever that right size is or whatever that right formula is for this team. And then sometimes it may be something quite ad hoc and just sort of a task-based thing. And this happens when you really don't have any certainty as to what's coming in. You're kind of reacting to tickets, that are coming in. Or it's something like Kanban, where, we've got a consistent flow of work and we want to prioritize this stuff, but there isn't any kind of high level structure or any need to really predict the future, right? There isn't a whole ton of complexity. And so Kanban is the right size. And then there are kind of different degrees of Scrum where, there's more interdependency, there's more complexity, and it's more important for us to be able to make predictions. But again, starting with the reflection and the retrospective and the continuous improvement as the core mechanism to decide what really is the right process for us. And I've taken this actually to every other department in the company. I've done it in sales, I've done it in business development, marketing, customer service, what have you. And I've even done it in non-tech companies. I've done it in a company that built rock climbing gyms. I've done it with a dance studio franchise and any number of non-tech businesses, because those core principles of reflection and continuous improvement are so powerful. The other sort of big takeaway that I took from my conversation with JJ is about finding wisdom as you grow and as you become more mature as an entrepreneur. And that wisdom takes the shape of leverage. Great entrepreneurs, great CEOs, mature and wise CEOs don't brute force anything. They don't grind their way to success. Right? They don't just beat their head against the wall, because that's incredibly wasteful and inefficient. But instead, what they do is they think about and they reflect on, well, what am I trying to accomplish? And how can I create the most leverage to accomplish that work in the least amount of effort, both for myself, but for my company? And that when we talk about effort, what we're really doing here, this is a proxy for money, right? Because the more effort something is, the more people we need and the more time we need to get the job done. So if we think about doing things efficiently, about doing things in a high leveraged way, what we're really talking about here is creating efficiency and moving faster and saving money and essentially being more profitable. And isn't that what we all want as business owners at the end of the day. But unfortunately, so many entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs that have this grind set, as they love to call it, the kids these days, what they're really doing is they are wasting the single most rare and valuable resource in the company, which is the founder's time. There's only one founder, and they have a limited amount of time. It is the most unscalable, most scarce resource in the entire company. And so any founder that is out there grinding all day long, and instead of finding ways to leverage, finding ways to hire and delegate and trust other people and invest in tools and automations and scalable processes in order to deliver value in less time, in less energy, and less money, those are the ones that end up burning themselves out and ultimately find their way on my doorstep as a shriveled, worn out husk that I have to, nurture and coax back to health and turn them back into a more mature CEO with a lot of battle scars and maybe even some trauma to deal with. But, sending them back out for another venture, but doing so in a much more energy conscious way.